I'm Anthony William, the medical medium. We're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. This is exciting. So get ready for this. This is really fun because I'm going to talk about why it's so important, what it does for you, how it can turn your life around, how I've seen it turn the health around for millions of people. And my whole life I've been watching it, and you deserve to have that whole thing happen with your health getting better too. Like, that's what you deserve. You deserve to get better. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to get past your symptoms. This is one of the secret weapons nobody knows about except for people that have actually done it because of our information, Spirit 9, what we're doing. So this is exciting. I'm going to talk about the whole thing. So it's a heavy metal detox smoothie. I got my blender here. You might not be able to see these right now, but I got different ingredients all in front of me and the whole bit. So before I go into this, I want to talk about why it's so good. First of all, if you want to find out the recipe, the whole bit, like looking at a book, it's in thyroid healing. I have a heavy metal detox smoothie right in here because it reverses so many different autoimmune diseases and different conditions and different symptoms. So, and then of course, in life-changing foods, I talk about the wild blueberry and the power of it. And I'm going to talk about it too here. But in the books, there's always more information, but I'm going to give you everything I got in the moment right now. And then, of course, heavy metals, all about heavy metals, how bad they are. I've talked about that in Medical Medium Book 1. Honestly, like, all three books are packed with information about this. I'm just letting you know. So here's the deal. A lot of people, they say, well, what about chlorella? What about that? And what about just cilantro by itself? What about, there's a lot of people out there saying garlic is good. There's all this information on heavy metals, how to remove heavy metals, but there's something that no one knows, and you have to know it to protect yourself. So you have to know it to really heal. And this is what we're going to talk about here. Like, these details are so critical. They're so important, okay? So it's not just about doing one thing when it's reversing heavy metals, when it's taking them out. So we get heavy metals in our brain. So we get mercury in our brain, aluminum, cadmium, copper, lead, arsenic, and the list goes on. And they all build up in the brain. And when they're in there, it becomes like an alloy kind of situation where there's different alloys going on. There's communication with the heavy metals in our brain. So there's electrical impulses ricocheting off of different heavy metals inside our brain. And that's what throws us in so many different areas. Anxiety, depression, especially depression. Heavy metals can oxidize. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, how they oxidize. If you're on a really high fat diet and you don't know it, you're on just it's all fats, you're doing, it's like the protein show I did on Facebook Live will explain all that. But if you're on the high fats and that's what you're doing and you have heavy metals, you can oxidize the metals fast in a bad way, causing Alzheimer's, memory loss, dementia, confusion, brain fog, anxiety, depression, chronic depression, long term. The metals are really bad and we have to get them out. So one of the keys is, what you're going to learn is, there's no fat in the smoothie. So there's no overt fat. There's no almond butter piled into the smoothie. There's no coconut oil piled into the smoothie. There's none of that kind of thing. There's no, it's not all this stuff in here. This is a low fat to no fat smoothie for a reason. And because it's critical when you take out heavy metals and how you can take them out. So to remove a heavy metal out of your brain or out of your liver or out of your pancreas or anywhere out of your body that's hindering, or out of your intestinal tract, okay, you have to have the 5 ingredients that we're going to put in this. It's going to be your cilantro. That's one thing right there, okay? It's going to be like your Vimergy barley grass juice powder. It's going to be that right there. So that's your barley grass juice powder. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's going to be your Hawaiian spirulina right there. So your spirulina. That's another thing. It's going to be your dulse. This is the one I like right here. It's going to be your dulse. And it's going to be your wild blueberries right here. So it's going to be these 5 things. And that's what it's all about. Why do you need 5 things? Why do you need 5 things? Because metals often become unstable when something's removing it out of the body. They drop. They get displaced. So if you're just on chlorella and that's your big thing because of misinformation out there, and I'm on chlorella, someone told me to go on it, that's going to take out my heavy metals, that's what's going to do it. If you're doing that, that's not going to work. Chlorella is really irresponsible. The product itself, it drops metals. It can move some metals, but it drops it immediately. That's like, like if you need somebody to help you out and say you need somebody to move your china or move your move something you own, like, or move your crystals or move your essential oils or move whatever, and they're dropping them everywhere and they're just breaking them and they're dropping them everywhere. That's chlorella. Okay, so just tag that chlorella. So what happens is you just need to know, this is so important. This is same thing with chlorophyll. If you're thinking your chlorophyll by itself, if you get chlorophyll, is removing heavy metals, wrong, totally wrong. It's going to drop them everywhere. It's not going to get it out by itself. And chlorella is not even good to even mix or use. I don't even recommend it. I talk about it in these books as saying, no, don't use it. You can read about not using chlorella in here. So this is just one of the most important, facts about what you need to do, or truths that you need to do this. So you need these 5 different things. You need your barley grass juice powder right here, your Vimergy barley grass juice powder. You need your spirulina, once again. You need your cilantro. Yeah, cilantro takes out heavy metals, right? You know that. That's nothing new. Actually, what's new is you have to have it with everything else. I promise you right there, and I said this the other day, I'm handing you the golden ticket. You can take it or you can smack it out of my hand. You can do what you want, whatever you want to do, but I'm telling you right now how you can get yourself better, turn your life around, what this could really mean, what could really happen here. So the cilantro with everything else in the smoothie is the mind blower right there. And then you need your dulse right here. So you need your dulse. That's a whole nother thing too. A little bit of dulse. That's the other part. And of course you need the other secret weapon, the big secret weapon. You need your wild blueberries right here. Now, let's talk about the wild blueberries for a couple of minutes too. So if you're in the United States, you can get them, you can get them from Trader Joe's, you can get them from Costco's, you can get them from Walmart, you can get them from conventional grocery stores, you can get them from there. Go in your freezer section, look for wild blueberries, whether they're conventional or organic. Either one. When it comes down to the wild blueberry, do not get picky. Do not get picky. I know we need organic, and I focus on that myself. You guys know that. But when it comes to wild blueberries, do not get picky at all. And you go with any one you can find. If it's a conventional one or an organic one, you get it. Because first of all, the conventional ones, they're hardly sprayed. They're sprayed like every 5 to 7 years. I mean, at best. That you wouldn't believe the minimal ratio that is. But the power the conventional wild blueberry has supersedes. It actually even takes care of that pesticide in the sense that it won't even affect you, is what I'm saying, because the power of the wild blueberry can remove it out of the body. That's how powerful it is. So do not get picky when it's conventional versus organic wild blueberries. I'm telling you now, that's one thing I see people freaking out about. They shouldn't freak out about that one at all. So that's important to know. So the other thing is, if you're in another country, wherever you are, if you're somewhere, you're overseas, you're somewhere else, get a wild blueberry in your region somehow. It may not be the Maine wild blueberry or the East Coast Canadian wild blueberry that I talk about, that I like the best, that I feel is the most powerful, because there's powerful wild blueberries all around different parts of the world. Don't underestimate them. Feel free to use them. They hold a lot of power, and when you add these other ingredients to it, it can work. Another thing is getting a hold of a wild blueberry powder if you have to. I know Vimergy, the same company that has the same company that has the barley grass juice powder, they do have a wild blueberry powder too. So if you have to go with that, and you're in another country, you can order that. Or if you're here and you're traveling and that's what you need because you can't get the frozen wild blueberries, then you get that. But you can get wild blueberries somehow, some way. And that's one of the secret weapons. So what do these things do? How does it work? We get these heavy metals in our brain, messes us up pretty bad. It really does. It messes us up pretty bad. Okay, we get the confusion, the brain fog, the depersonalization, the disconnect, the ups and downs. We get the diagnoses of like bipolar, all of that. All of those different diagnoses that you can get when you're feeling emotionally unstable or you're feeling imbalanced and everything. Those heavy metals sitting in the brain, doing their thing, oxidizing, you want them out. It's a lot of mercury in everybody's brain. When I go out in public, which is rare, when I go out in public, okay, and there's a whole bunch of people around me, okay, what I can see when I'm looking at people is the amount of metals that are in people. It's like a Christmas tree lit up in people's brains, all the sparkles, different areas of the brain, and everybody has metals in different parts of their brain, different areas. They might have it in the frontal lobe, giving them certain symptoms. They might have like tremors or whatever it is. They might have it in the back of the brain. They might have it in the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere. They might have it in different places. They might have it deep in the brain, in the center of the brain. So you may have these metals buried deep in there, and they could be there from centuries ago. Here's the other key, okay? Toxic heavy metals get passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's critical to get them out so you don't pass them down to your children. And if you did already, then you get them out of your children, and then so they're not passing it down to their children and their children. Nobody talks about this. Science and research doesn't care. Plus, they don't even know about any of this. My job is to bring you guys the most advanced ahead of time information you've ever had in your life, in your hands, so you can change your life, the people around you, the people that you love, your friends, your family, reverse things, move forward, regardless, because research and science is not caught up to speed on chronic illness on any level, and I mean on any level when it comes down to chronic illness. So don't get that confused with brain surgery for an aneurysm. Don't get that confused with the gallbladder surgery. Don't get that confused with the liver transplant. Don't get any of that confused. So, but the point is, with chronic illness, research and science, oblivious, totally oblivious. So we have to do it ourselves. And I work for you guys. That's the whole point, okay? Never forget it. I work for you. That's what I do. Okay, I don't sell anything, always remember that. I don't sell products, always remember that. I don't own products, always remember that. It's about just getting you what you need and the stuff that works, because I'm working for you 100%. And so here's the deal. We'll go into a little bit more before we make the smoothie, before we do this whole smoothie thing. And by the way, I got my celery juice right here. I'm not trying to throw us off course, but that's my celery juice right there. I'm gonna do 2 of these today, right here, straight celery juice. Catch my Facebook Live, just, watch it. I did it the other day. Catch it. It's all on, it's all about celery juice. So check it out. It was yesterday. I did it yesterday morning. You got to check it out. You got to check out celery juice, the power it has. So if you're doing celery juice and you're turning your life around with celery juice, okay? And then you end up doing the blueberry smoothie, the wild blueberry smoothie. I shouldn't say blueberry. It's wild blueberry. So critical to know that. By the way, if you can't get a wild blueberry and you still want to do this and you want to throw in a cultivated blueberry, that's the bigger blueberry in the clamshell at the grocery store. If you want to throw that in, I'd rather have you throw a blackberry in, okay? I'd rather have you throw a blackberry. The blackberry, the regular cultivated blackberry in the clamshell at the grocery store, is more powerful than the cultivated blueberry that I don't want you to use for the smoothie. So it can give you more of a fighting edge, because the cultivated blackberry is closer to a wild state, but yet the cultivated blackberry doesn't touch the wild blueberry. So you still want the wild blueberry. It matters. Cilantro. A lot of people are sensitive to cilantro, or they don't like the taste. Use a little bit of it. You don't have to use the whole cup that I want you to use inside the smoothie, okay? You can just use some. And look, we're going to do a teaspoon of the barley grass juice powder pretty soon, the Vimergy barley grass. We're going to do a teaspoon of the Hawaiian spirulina. But if that's too much, if you feel, do a half a teaspoon. Some people can do more. They can do like what I do is I do a couple of teaspoons. Sometimes I do a tablespoon in there, but you don't have to do that. A teaspoon is adequate. It gets the job done. This is really awesome. This is really exciting. And so the whole deal is with heavy metals. We need them out of our body because one of the reasons why is they feed viruses. They feed the Epstein-Barr virus, which I talk about in here. Back to the books, okay? If you didn't get the books, get them. If you're holding out because you think I'm just going to give you information over and over and over again and you don't think you need to read the books, you're wrong, 100%. These things are packed and I can't even scratch the surface and cover what's in these books. It's not even possible. I can do all the lives I want. I can do all the talks, all the radio shows I want. I can't scratch it. So just don't rely on these. Get the books and also, watch this for tips and learning and everything. So we got to get the metals out of us because it feeds viruses like the Epstein-Barr virus, the HHV6, the shingles virus, all these different viruses that make us sick. It's part of reversing our conditions. This is one of the staples, the foundations. And you can get this recipe off my blog, off of medicalmedium.com. You can get it off the blog. This is one of those foundational tools right here I'm handing to you so you get better. Along with the celery juice I did yesterday. These are this is it right here in our hands. So ignoring it, not good. Being able to do this is amazing. If you don't have a good blender, if you got a crappy blender, use it. Use it. I mean, I've used the worst blender for years. The worst one. It was like a 1979 model. It just kind of crushed ice. It kind of crushed ice. I used it for years. I'm just saying, if you have something like that, I'm totally cool. I'm on board 100%, and it took a while for me to get one of these babies right here. But you can use one of the other blenders. Totally cool, whatever you got to do. And if you don't have a blender, use a food processor. If you have just a food processor, it's not fun. It's not easy. It's not going to be blended, like really blended. It's going to be choppy, but a food processor. You could totally throw it all in, just pulse it on your food processor, and then dump it into a bowl and eat it with a spoon if you want to, okay? So there's ways to do this. I want to give you as many options as possible without a doubt. So I want to talk about one other thing. We need the 5 things. And no Corella. We need the 5 things, okay? We need them right here, all right? And the reason why one of these things is going to take out the metal and then carry it down the playing field through the body, why something else has to pick it back up again. This is how you get metals completely out of the body to heal. Big difference. You go to a practitioner, you go to a doctor, you read a book. Someone's doing a cleanse. They even mention heavy metals or whatever it is. They don't have a clue. I'm sorry to say. They don't have a clue on how metals react, how they come out of the body, how you can heal from it. No one knows. This is the information right here. I'm being straight up on that because the internet's confusing, because you guys might, new people might be hopping on right now and be like, oh, well, I could just go and find a heavy metal this. Oh, I'll go find that. Good luck. You're doing yourself an injustice. I'm being strong about that. There's a good reason. Because, like I said, I work for you and you have to heal, bottom line. So here's the deal. Or protect yourself if you're not sick. How about that? Because metals are everywhere. They fall out of the sky. They're in our environment. They're in our water. They're everywhere. Really important to know. And we inherit them. We pass them on generation to generation. You know that. I talked about that already. So here's the deal. You take out heavy metals. The wild blueberry goes to the brain, goes into the brain. These antioxidants are different than anything else. The phytochemicals and the chemical compounds that are naturally occurring in wild blueberries go up to the brain. They start extracting mercury, tiny amounts of mercury, tiny amounts of aluminum, Alzheimer's. Mercury, Alzheimer's is what mercury causes Alzheimer's, by the way, just so you know. All that. But it's more than that. We got all kinds of brain problems. We walk around with them every day. Nobody realizes it, that it's really a brain problem that we're dealing with. So it's not just like Parkinson's and ALS and whatever. It's not just all those. It's not just Alzheimer's and dementia. I'm talking about hundreds of symptoms that millions of people walk around with every day. So the wild blueberry, it gets into the brain. It starts to extract mercury, tiny bits of mercury. It holds on to it. It pulls it out of the brain. The weight of the metal and the ability of the blueberry to basically defy gravity inside the body, the internal workings of the body, to pull it out is remarkable. It's like one of these miracles. As it's taking it out and taking it out of the brain, it can only go so far. so far before it has to let it go in the right way. There's a difference between Corella letting it go in a stupid way, in a clumsy way, instantly letting it go if it even picks any up. And there's a difference between holding it on, waiting with instinct, with this instinction it has to know, with this actually understanding the information the wild blueberry has, can carry the metal to the next thing that needs to be around, to the next thing right there. Look at that. Cilantro. That's right. So the whole thing. So cilantro binds onto it again, meaning grabs onto it. Because cilantro can't do it by itself. So it grabs onto where the blueberries left off. You following me on this? Where it left off. This takes it to a point where it's heading out to different parts of the body, removing them, and that's where the Vimmergy barley grass juice powder right here, that's where that baby starts to do its magic, starts to grab onto it, it's passing the football to another player. And the cilantro is bringing it to the Vimmergy barley grass juice powder, okay? You're not going to hear this stuff anywhere because nobody knows about this except for you guys now, okay? So it's taking that, and guess what? Where's this going to take it? It's going to take it along to the Hawaiian spirulina. That's right, the Hawaiian spirulina. It's going to take it right there to the spirulina. Don't use a different kind of spirulina. You want to go with Hawaiian when it comes down to that. Hawaiian spirulina passes the football, meaning grabs onto it. There you go. And guess where? Heading down, and you got your good old Atlantic Dulce, sopping things up down at the last hour, okay? Down at the last hour. That's what we're talking about right there. That's the power we're talking about. And then it takes it out of the body, all the way safely out of the body. This heavy metal detox smoothie, all right, is safe for children. It's safe for nursing. It's safe for pregnant mommies. It's safe because what it does is it protects the baby from getting heavy metals, both inside of mommy and both nursing. It protects it. It cleans the heavy metals out of nursing milk, out of milk. So when a mommy's got breast milk going, okay, for a baby, that breast milk always has hints of heavy metals from all kinds of different avenues, from all different places. Those heavy metals are in the breast milk. So is this baby safe? Yes, it removes the metals out of breast milk, so baby's breast milk is cleaner and pure than anything has ever been. And that's the whole point. That's the power of this. Listen, this is a gift. This whole thing is a gift. It's not from me. It's from the source that has been given to me since age 4. And that's what this is. You can choose to use it, heal yourself and move forward, or you can ignore it. I just would hope that you guys use it. I hope you guys do, because you know what? I've seen people heal, and it's not just that. Millions are doing it, and they're changing their lives right now. I want you to join me. I want you to join us. It's that important. So as these metals come out of your body, you get less symptoms, less viral symptoms. If you don't have viral symptoms, you can have toxic heavy metal symptoms too. You get less symptoms. You can get less UTIs. You can get less infections, less bacterial infections, less colds and flus, less flus. You know, all of that. You can get less symptoms, less sinus infections, less earaches, less ups and downs, less fatigue, less migraines, probably said it already, headaches, less all of that, less body pain, all of it. Reproductive systems get healthy. For guys, prostates get healthy, less ability to get prostate cancer. All these different things can get better and protect you. But it's even more than that, okay? You do that, and then you bring in that celery juice. No matter what diet belief system you're into, whether you're vegan, plant-based, whether you're high-protein animal products, whether you're whatever you are, vegetarian, whatever it may be, just know that you bring these babies in. You bring this in. You can turn your life around. But remember, keep out eggs. I talked about that the other day. Keep out eggs, keep out dairy products. There's other things you can keep out. Learn about what foods you shouldn't eat. They're in all 3 of these books. What foods you should not eat. I can't cover all of them and all the little things. I don't have the time. I want you guys just getting the smoothie going. But make sure you learn what foods not to eat, really critical. That's something that gets in our way because you're probably putting heavy metals in. You're probably putting heavy metals and everything else in. So you're going to be, you want to be able to get, and that's the cool thing. If you are putting metals in, you're getting those out too. You're getting those metals out too. That's right. I want to say one more thing about the wild blueberry, okay? One more thing about these. This is so critical, and I talk about it in here. The information in wild blueberries that's in a wild blueberry, look at the blue. That's insane, the kind of blue that's in these. There's no blue like this in any other food. It's not possible. The information in the wild blueberry is tens of thousands of years old of survival through drought, through freezing cold, through floods, through just heat, everything. There's information, survival mechanisms, survival methods are instilled inside this adaptogenic food. Now, you ever hear adaptogenic stuff, like adaptogenic herbs, adaptogenic anything, or we have to adapt? The most powerful food on the planet that is adapted to its environment that exists. This is, and science doesn't even know this, research doesn't even know this, the most adaptogenic food on the planet. And you know what that does? When it goes in you, it helps you to adapt with emotional stuff, with hardships, with betrayal, with trust issues, with all kinds of things you've been going down, that's happening in your life, from losses to struggles, to suffering, whatever it is. This helps you adapt, makes you stronger, and that's just the blueberries on their own. Here's the thing, if you can't get all this in the heavy metal detox smoothie, if you can't get all the things I'm talking about right here, I got blue everywhere right now. If you can't get everything in here, in your smoothie, if you can't get it all in, okay? If it can't all get in there, try to get it in on the same day. A little bit of cilantro somewhere on your salad. A little bit of dulse, maybe somewhere. Just take a piece of dulse, put it in your mouth. A little bit of this. Okay, mix it with some water, take it one shot. Blueberries, just try to get it in, maybe a little bowl, maybe chop up some other fruit in there and mix it. Try to get them in all on the same day. They'll still do something similar to trying to make the smoothie, but the smoothie is the most powerful way, the most perfect way of doing it. So okay, we start out with the blueberries right here. We can do this. This is about 2 cups of blueberries right here. There's one there. Doing another one right here. Like this. Okay, so you see that? So the blueberries are in here. I'm just going to show you, right? You got the blueberries in there. Aren't those beautiful? Aren't those amazing? Those are amazing, right? They're incredible. Totally incredible. Okay, I put a little pinch of dulse. Okay. Like that, that's about the size I use right here. Now you'll see the recipe. You can check it out anytime on my blog, medicalmedium.com. But I like to do that. Throw a little bit in there. Use about a cup of cilantro. If you don't like a cup of cilantro, use a little less. Here's my cup of cilantro right here. I just take this, tear it right off that, throw it in like that. That's my cup of cilantro right there. We got that. And then you got the Vimergy barley grass juice powder, teaspoon. Okay, could do a teaspoon right here. This is the purest stuff I could find. Can't find a barley grass juice powder. I've tried every one. I've looked into every single one. I've researched every single one because I'm a fanatic about that, because I have to actually please the source that comes from me, which is spirit, the information that comes from me. So I have to be diligent. I have to know what is the best stuff. That's my favorite stuff right there. People say, what do you use? Well, I'm showing you what I use. I use Hawaiian spirulina. That's it right there. Hawaiian spirulina, put a little teaspoon in here. Now, if you want to use less, if that's what you want to do. If you want to do a half a teaspoon of spirulina, half a teaspoon of Vimergy barley grass juice powder, use less. Totally cool. And then, of course, bananas. Do not be afraid of bananas. If you have fruit fear, and it holds you back from the most powerful weapon you can do to turn your life around, to turn your health around like never before, and you're going to let fruit fear from misinformation, from what I basically call people that are planted in alternative medicine and conventional medicine that purposely are trying to take down fruit, purposely, with junk science and everything else, or just theories. It's unbelievable. Most powerful thing is a banana for your digestive tract. I've seen bananas heal colitis, Crohn's, IBS, celiac. So being afraid of a banana is ridiculous. So bananas, so I'm talking about the banana a little bit because it's a hated thing now for no reason. It's like an incredible miracle food, but you put your bananas in here, put two bananas, look, two bananas are going right in here. This is so cool. Check this out, right? Two bananas in here. Don't do unripe bananas and don't do overripe bananas. That's the perfect right there. That looks great. It's not overripe, it's not too ripe, it's not underripe. There's people talking about like these diets and these trendy diets where you put this green banana in. Insane. Also not good for a lot of reasons. So we're gonna put those in. That's the smoothie right there, okay? All right? And we got that. And then we got this, but before I do that, I forgot I'm putting some water in. And that's right here. So I got some water, but actually this is the one I'm going to use here. It's the water I'm going to use. There you go. It's a cup of water. You can do 2 cups of water if you want to. So what I like to do with the water part is I like to gauge it. Sometimes 1 cup of water works. Sometimes 1.5 cups. You can add more. I just don't like adding too much. That's 1 cup. I can go with 1.5 cups right there. And I could start with that. That's pretty good. Put this on, rev it up, but I'm not going to blow out your ears, okay? I'm going to leave it like that because I have one right here. Look at that. I made this right before I started the Facebook Live. This is it right here. Look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smoothie. This is amazing. This is the heavy metal right here, Detox Smoothie for mercury, for aluminum, for lead, arsenic, copper. People have high in copper, they get the eczema and psoriasis. That's a whole thing too. I talk about eczema and psoriasis right here in Thyroid Healing. Liver Rescue's coming out soon. Pre-order it on Amazon because I have a whole section on eczema and psoriasis. But that's just one illness. I cover a whole dozens in Liver Rescue. I cover 88, I think maybe actually over 100 symptoms and conditions in Thyroid Healing. All right, and I describe this heavy metal detox smoothie right in Thyroid Healing. I'm showing you the books because look, you know, you can watch this, but you need to know everything else too to keep on moving forward. I want you guys to be experts. You know what's funny is when you rely on experts out there with misinformation and trendy misinformation, you don't become an expert. Or if you do, you're an expert of misinformation and trendy misinformation, okay? So basically you're an expert of wrong information. I have to say it. But if you want to be an expert of the right way to do things, to heal, to protect your family, your children, your loved ones, your friends, be an expert of the right stuff, and you will. You can't go wrong with this. You can't. It's not possible. So, so grab the book so you can become that expert. So really, I mean, you know what? You know what happens when you change the lives of others? And they start healing miracles. Miracles happen every day. It's at your fingertips. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for others. And I stand by you 100%. This is the heavy metal detox smoothie right here. Pulls metals out of the liver, out of the brain, out of the bowels, all through the intestinal tract, out of the stomach. We get heavy metals in the lining of the stomach. This pulls them out, just takes them right out of the body like nothing else can. So that's the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. Go to medicalmedium.com, so medicalmedium.com. Go to the blog. You could learn more about it if you'd like. But this is exciting, you guys. This is really exciting. Don't get discouraged. One day at a time. You know what to do. You can do this. And hey, that's what we do. Check me out tonight on Extra. Look where it's playing. So there's a TV show called Extra. I'm on there with 2 segments. I'm talking about the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. I'm talking about chronic illness. Check that out. These people are amazing at Extra. They're totally supportive and they want people to heal. They want the information out there. They want the books out there. And I got to tell you something. That blows me away. They have compassion and they care about you guys. So, hey, I love you dearly. You know that. I guess I'm signing off. Just please take care of yourself. Celery juice too. And I'm heading on to Instagram. So don't forget, I'm going on to Instagram in just a couple of minutes. Get ready. Because we're going to do this. We're going to talk about this stuff. And I'll probably even talk about different stuff along with it. Because I tend to forget about a few. There's so much information. I tend to forget about so many things that it probably won't even be a repeat. I'm probably going to add. So anyway, celery juice I'm going to drink real quick, and then I'm going to start cracking into this. I love you guys. I stand behind you 100%. I back you up. I support you with all your healing. I'm there for you. And hey, that's it. Let's do this together. I believe in you. God bless you. Bless your heart. Bless your loved ones. Okay? All right. I'll see you soon on Instagram. Instagram Live.